The 80 trillion shillings public debt represents 48% of the 185 trillion shillings gross domestic product GDP that has raised concerns on the likelihood of it getting to unmanageable levels. However, the economy will continue to borrow to survive.
The whole aspect of borrowing comes from how much government is able to collect in form of tax revenues. So you've had the challenges around tax revenue, the medical, the public service, and all the other aspects of infrastructure have to take place. As a result, it becomes very difficult for such economies to manage their economies without borrowing.
At the reading of the budget speech, the Finance Minister, Matia Kasaija, revealed that the national debt would go even higher within 2 weeks.
Public debt is projected at shillings 88.9 trillion, equivalent to 23.7 US dollars billion by 30th June 2023.
But the Secretary to Treasury, Ramadan Gobi, says they have adopted austerity measures to control the rapid increase of the public debt through reduced domestic borrowing. He explained that borrowing would be restricted to productive fields and a review of the tax waivers to expand the tax base was underway.
The exemption is we shall give them only to those who deserve them. And they also should really be accountable. If they have promised to deliver certain things, they deliver them, certain benefits, jobs, using raw materials from Uganda.
The government is also suspending what is seen as frivolous expenditure, the purchase of motor vehicles for public officials, as well as a freeze on foreign travel. Gobi defended the need to be frugal.
This is not a new initiative. We started it last year. We saved across government 1.7 trillion shillings through these, what we call budgetary purposing. That's the money which we used to capitalize parish development model. The 1.1 trillion, we got it from budgetary purposing.
Economists in the academia and banking sector agreed with the measures but remained reserved, explaining that only strict adherence of these decisions would result in success.
Good that they've started early and they are cautious of trying to ensure that they manage that debt portfolio before it goes out of hand.
If you decide on what you need to borrow for, then you all actually scale down the rate at which you acquire debt. So that's number one in reducing it from where it is, 48% of GDP, to a lower level, making sure you are borrowing less. Two, the projects you are borrowing for must grow your economy because that's the GDP. So even if the debt increases a little bit, but GDP increases more, then the ratio will come down.
The government allocated 17 trillion shillings, or about 34% of the 52.7 trillion shillings budget, for debt servicing, which is expected to be the trend over the next few years. Jackson Onyango, NTV.